Hola, mi Bishes. Tis I, Clois, aka Manny Bish, over on Instagram. Long time no watch, no interaction. I know it's been a while. I'm trying. I have so many videos backed up because every Manny I do, I record, but it's the editing that gets to me. But here we are. I have another Madam Glam video here for y'all. And in this video, I got a lot of nail art stuff. So I got some gold gel paint, um, gold chrome gel paint. So that's exciting. I got some frosting gel, which is not, I did touch it. It is not, it's 3D sculpting gel, but it's not 3D gel. It's not the kind that you can roll around in your hand that's non wipe, not sticky. It is still kind of gummy and like that. This is, of course, I decided to film this or record this while the trash truck is coming by. I am so sorry. I got some 3D embossing gel, adds a little bit of texture here and there. And then I got a pedal brush. I've been wanting to try a pedal brush for so long. And so I'm really happy about this. I had one little long hair, so I'm just going to pinch the bristles together and nip that. And then I got a gel polish. So this is called Cosmos, and this color, you guys, is it's so pretty. And when I seen this color, I was like, well, I do want gold chrome as well. So let me get that. And I was like, these two are gonna go so good together. And I was right. They did. They're giving, which you will see for this Manny because of this being bluey purple with some gold reflex in it. I don't know why or what about it was giving me mystical fairy fantasy vibes, and I have been actually in my fantasy era of reading, which is weird because I was not a huge fantasy reader at all. I haven't read fantasy since Twilight. Read Fourth Wing, and it just like jump started something in me, and I have been loving the romantasy, guys. I don't know. It did something to me, and this is just it's giving fantasy, fairy, woodsy type of vibes, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but that's just what I was going with. And so for the magnet, because it is a magnetic gel, we know that I need to be practicing more with those magnetic gels, right? We know that. And so for the first layer, anyways, I'm only going to be showing you three nails: thumb, middle, index finger, because it's going to be the same color, same process along all the nails for this first layer. I am just trying to get those gold colors out. I did kind of mess around on my thumb to see like what exactly would look like, but for this first layer, I decided no, we're just going to pull out the gold shimmers and just leave it at that for this first layer. We can get more in depth on the next. And so that's really all I'm doing for this first layer, just putting the magnet there on the sides, each side of my nail for literally 1 to 3 seconds. Just pull out those golds that are hiding and cure it. That's it. And I will say, starting with these magnetic gels, I would do one nail at a time and then put it in the lamp, just so my magnet doesn't accidentally catch like a previously already done finger. But the more you do it and get the hang of it, it is easier to keep your fingers separated far enough, if you're actually thinking about it, to be able to just do it all in one fell swoop and not have to do each individual finger like that. So now we're going to start messing around with actually doing this. And you see the second layer, you guys? It's so pretty. So here I was like, maybe I will actually try it and do a design. So I put the magnet in two different spots, and I actually liked how it looks like this, where there's just this like blue depth in there and then gold around it. So I was like, okay, we'll leave that alone like that. I tried to recreate it on my other nails and I could not. I didn't want it on every nail, but I did try to recreate it, I think, on my thumb, and it just nope, not happening. It was like won't won't was the process. So I am on most of my nails just drawing out the gold. That's just what I know how to do. That's the only thing I know how to do with these magnetic gel polishes. I feel like I need a mini crash course on them, really figure them out. They can be so pretty, but I feel like you have to have the right technique about doing it, and I don't have that. So here we are. And so I'm just going to kind of play around on this second layer on all of these fingers of mine. My pinky is going to be the same thing, just the magnets on the side to draw out the gold and leaving that alone because my pinky, she was given a little bit of issues, but on my index finger, I decided to um see here, like I'm doing fingers that aren't close to each other, but I am doing two. But you will actually see that needed to reapply like a different, like I needed to go over this again. The pinky wasn't pinkying, so I ended up just kind of going back over it with the brush and then just doing the whole side to side thing. And so here I did that. I was liking that on my index finger. I was like, oh, okay. I kind of got the vibe as the middle finger, but not exactly. And so here for the pinky, I was like, yeah, we're just gonna try and restart from scratch. So I just went back over it with the brush. No extra product. I wiped it off and just went over it to kind of disperse everything to its original form. And then, boom, pulled out the gold. And that was that. And for my thumb, again, you're going to see me try to recreate the situation that I did on my middle finger. It's not going to happen. So I ended up defaulting to the pinky situation where we just pulled out the gold and left it alone. And this color, you guys, I can't even emphasize this color enough. It was just so magical and mesmerizing. I was befuddled. I was just, oh my God, it was so much better in person. So much better in person. And so here, yeah, see, I'm like, I don't know what I'm trying to do, but we're just going to end up going back to square one because, yeah. And after looking at it like this, I do like the way that that looks. Like, that could have been fine. But for whatever reason, in my mind, when I did this, I was like, nope, don't like it. So we're just going to pull all that gold back to just having it out and about. So, yeah. Now we're going to do the nail art. And I'm doing this in like a few different steps, but like it's going to be layered, if that makes sense. So, I'm going to do gold first, then we're going to top coat, then I'm going to do the actual stuff on top of it. So, for this gold, I'm using this as my tree branches. Tree branches, rose stems, flower stems, whatever you want to call it. That's what I'm using this gold for. And so I am just starting at one end of my thumb, and that's my tree branch. It like glides so beautifully, so perfect, melts right in to everything. And then I'm going to come back in. This brush is from Maniology. Um, it's like a dual-ended dotting tool brush situation. That's where that's from. And I'm just pulling, making sure that I have a little bit of product on there. And I'm starting back in on that tree branch and then pulling from it to create the little thorns or more little branches off of the branch, that kind of thing. And then I'm going to cure this, flash cure this, and then we're going to go on to the next nail and I'm going to do the same thing. So once again, I'm trying to switch up the angle of which I'm coming with this from. So one is from, the cuticle, one's going to be from the free edge, and then another nail is going to be from the cuticle as well, but I think going in the opposite direction if I remember correctly. I'm not too sure. And I'm only doing these little branch things on three of my nails. So it's going to be my thumb, my middle, and my ring finger. And I'm just trying to like look at it and see where I think the little extra branches would look good and should go. And that's that. Then we're just gonna get right on into this top coat after I cured that situation. And I'm using my non-wipe top coat for this, also from Madam Glam. And I'm just going to apply this quickly on all of my phalanges, um, my nails specifically, not just my fingers. And y'all, okay, I actually have a funny story about the phalange thing. So I love Friends, and Regina Phalange, if you know, you know. I decided that I was going to use that as one of my gaming names on um the PlayStation. So if you play Marvel Rivals, I'm there. I'm there. I decided my name was going to be Regina Phalange. But apparently there's a character max, and I did it, and it was like, oh, too many letters. Or no, first it was Regina Phalange, it was already taken. Then I decided, well, let me do Regina Phalange 1. And that's where the character max came in. And I was like, oh, what the heck? So then that one was already taken. So let me do Regina Phalange 2. And it ended up erasing my E off of Phalange. So now it's just, I'm Regina Phalang 2 on Marvel Rivals. So if you ever see a funny looking name on there and like, what the heck? Who's Regina Falang? It's me. I'm Regina Falang too. So yeah, I'm very disappointed, and I'm trying to work up the money so I can change my name to something different because it bugs me every time I see it. I'm like, gosh darn you. But whatever. What are you gonna do? So, anywho, I'm gonna get this done clearly. Y'all, I have this at 2 speed. This is like me. This is me at 2 speed. So, if this is me at 2 speed, imagine me at 1 speed. I'll just be taking my sweet time doing this crap. Now, I'm gonna cure this. I'm curing it completely. We're not like doing any chrome or anything like that where I need any stickiness. So 100% cured across the board. And then we're going to get into the embossing gel, which is what I'm going to be making my flowers out of. And yeah, let me just get through this because. Okay, great. Putting that in the light. We're past that. Just kidding. I gotta clean. I'm cutting this out. Y'all don't need to see this. Okay, so now that we're done cleaning our cuticles and then curing, I'm getting into this embossing gel. So this is a thicker, it's not gel paint, it's not runny or like movable like that. It is going to stay right where you put it. So I'm putting that on my petal brush. Clearly, after I did this, I was like, oh, that is way too much. I loaded this thing up too much. So I'm just gonna finish trying to get a feel of this, and then I'm gonna wipe this flower off because it was just too much. It was too much gel on the brush. So I'm gonna just get some alcohol, wipe that off. Now that y'all, my mic died. So I had to take a little hiatus and charge it just a wee bit so I could finish this video just enough. So now that I have all the product, or a lot of product, off of my brush, now I'm going to go in with my little petals. And do you see just how it's looking? It is looking textured. There's still the pigment, but it's got the like creases of the petal. It's just looking so good. So I did that on my thumb and I cured it. That was the only thing I did on my thumb. And then on the rest of my fingers, I was like, well, maybe let me add some petals. So I'm gonna add just a few little like leafy petals, but they're still gonna be white. It was just, it was the vibe I was going for. And then I'm going to cure that. And then I'm going to, on this hand, I'm going to do another flower. I'm going to try and pick up just a little bit more gel. I'm not trying to overload my brush like I did on the first one. My petals on this one are giving a little more Well, actually, I'm making a flowered episode, so I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say. I was gonna say it's gonna be more like stocky. Is that like short, stocky little petals? But it's. I thought it was a leaf, but it's actually a flower, so it makes more sense. I forgot that I did a flower on this hand. My bad. Or on my finger. So I didn't even know what I was doing. So, anywho, let's ignore that. Now I'm gonna try and do some um oh my gosh, what are those flowers called? Um Not water lilies. Um I literally can't think of the name of them. Okay, so it's crazy that I cannot remember the name of these because my sister has a tattoo of one and I was with her when she got it done. The petals literally like all go up. It's got like a rounded base and they all go up. Can anybody look at that flower and tell me what it is? Sissy, if you're watching this video, what is this flower called? Please comment. I need help. Um Oh my god. Okay, I can't think about it anymore because it's gonna drive me crazy. Anyways, I'm drawing some of those around my nails. I decided my thumb needed a little bit more, so I was gonna put one in the cuticle crease area. So I'm gonna do like little short, three little short petals on the inside, two longer wispy ones on the outside. If you see like it going out like that. And I'm gonna do the same thing on my index finger. This one took me a few tries. I just didn't make y'all suffer through all that because it was tedious. But that's what I'm going for here. And I had thought, oh, let me add a few petals going up. No, didn't like it. So I'm gonna take, I don't even know what I was doing. That looks ridiculous. So I'm gonna take my alcohol pad and with a little bit of alcohol on it, and I'm just gonna gently wipe away those petals. Then I'm gonna put this in the lamp to cure it before I mess it up, since I actually liked the way that the flower at the bottom was looking. And then I'm gonna come up here and just do three little whoopsies, whoopsies, whatever, right there. And I'm just gonna leave that alone. That is my thing. So we're going with our fairy, mystical woodsy vibe. So we've got our little flowers, our gold, the purple. Now for this, I decided I was going to try and use this 3D frosting gel, which is more for 3D texture. I decided I was going to try and use this to get some caviar beads to stick to my nail. So I've got these and I'm going to start applying these on my nail just using my little liner brush. It's got the gel on it, so it's easy to pick up the little caviar beads. I'm just going to start spreading these out. I'm going to put three here, one in the middle of my little whatever flower that is, and then one on my thumb in the middle of that flower right there. And I'm going to cure this, and then you're going to come back and see something else. Now, I realized that one of my beads did not stick at all. It fell right off. So I'm just going to reapply that where I had it, which is on my pinky. That's where it fell off at. And I just realized, I was like, oh. So you see me feeling around. I'm like, well, all these other ones stuck. That's weird. So I'm going to reapply this to, sorry, I yawned, my pinky. And then we're going to have a whole other plethora of issue here in a second when I come back. So I am going to like pretty much stop this video. I'm going to, do my whole little outro situation and be like, oh yeah, so cute. And then I'm going to come back and see, but look at how cute it is. Look at how pretty. Tell me you don't think that's pretty. Isn't that just so pretty? I love it. Now, my beads didn't last. The caviar beads, they came and gone real quick. So, the 3D frosting gel is that. It is 3D frosting gel. It is not bead gel. Do not try and get it to stick with the beads because it's not happening. It's not going to work. They didn't even last a whole day. They just bloop right off. So, but I still had some texture there. I just didn't have the beads anymore. So I just decided, you know what? I'm just going to come back and I'm just going to do chrome. I'll do chrome in those exact same spots, same exact pattern and way, and that's what I'm gonna do. So that's what I did. And it worked and it stayed the longevity of my mani. So I'm just taking my dotting tool, going back in with that gel chrome, that gold one that we used for the branches and stems and stuff. And that is my mani, you guys. So yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Let me know if you're reading any books, what you're reading currently. I just started Akatar. So a court of thorns and roses. I just started that. I'm on chapter 2. So yeah. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will catch y'all in the next one. Bye, Bisshhh. It's been so long I almost forgot my outro, guys. Ah!